Now that Tiana's Bayou Adventure is getting out of the way, it seems like another Frontierland attraction is finally getting the love it deserves. Let's talk about the fact that Big Thunder Mountain might be going away for a little while at Walt Disney World. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is the king of the Wild West, Mr. VashSky. Vash, are you ready for the wildest ride in the wilderness?
I believe I am right now. The wildest ride in the wilderness, one of my favorites all time, and one of Tony Baxter's best creations ever. Added to the amazement of the Disney park.
Oh, so are you telling me that Tony Baxter was in charge of Big Thunder Mountain?
Yeah, that was his claim to fame, and really what put him on the map as an Imagineer who could hold his own amongst greats like Claude Coates and Mark Davis.
Well, this is amazing. It seems to me that he is responsible for a lot of the success of Frontierland there at Walt Disney World Resort. Oh, maybe Critter Country as well. Rumor here. This is what we want to talk about. This one out of Blog Mickey. A rumor is that the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is closing for a lengthy refurbishment and a full track replacement. According to blogmickey.com sources, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Magic Kingdom will be closing this year for a lengthy refurbishment. This is not the only railroad at Walt Disney World that has had to go down for a refurbishment, but this is the only one that's a roller coaster. Reportedly, the closure is to allow for a full track replacement and some other additions, perhaps the long overdue lift scene upgrades that other versions of the attraction around the world already have. Look at that. It's Big Thunder Mountain. In terms of timing, expect Big Thunder Mountain Railroad to close after the opening of TBA this summer. And by the way, if you follow some of our other videos, TBA is no longer TBA. That being Tiana's Bayou Adventure is no longer to be announced. It's going to be on June 28th. There will likely be some overlap when both I almost said contraptions. When both attractions continue to operate as demand settles in for TBA before Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is taken offline. According to WDW Magic, the refurbishment will be the longest in the history of the attraction, lasting, oh my, more than a year as much needed work is completed. We've also heard a timeline that exceeds 12 months of work. Smaller refurbishments have typically been scheduled for the start of the year in recent times, but a major refurbishment has been deferred for some time now. This is not the only time we've heard about a almost year-long refurbishment on a major attraction. The other one that I'm thinking of right now is out at Disneyland, the Haunted Mansion. What looked like they were redoing the queue for Haunted Mansion might actually be some refurbishment of the Haunted Mansion itself. But the more important item there is that it's going to be down. The Haunted Mansion might not return in its classic form. They might come back for Nightmare Before Christmas or something like that. It won't be coming back for its classic form until sometime next year. Vash, I think that you might have insight. Well, of course, I'm assuming you know all kinds of things about Haunted Mansion, but what have you been hearing about Big Thunder Mountain?
Yeah, I've been hearing some very interesting things about this attraction specifically. As you know, this is also an attraction that happens to be in the way of like the Beyond Big Thunder project, right? So I've heard a lot of stuff as connected to that specific portion right there. But Big Thunder itself has been long slated, by the way. I mean, this is back before the 50th, before all this stuff, to get the improvements that were done to Disneyland's version back when that version of the attraction actually had its retrack and so forth. I believe also too with that version, specifically at Disneyland, they rebuilt Rainbow Ridge, for example. They put in an entirely new disabled access. What is it? A load and unload station right there.
Right.
They rebuilt the entire track. There was a lot of improvements, but one of the major things was the final lift hill and that earthquake scene. There was a dynamite special effects package added to that.
Right, and that's a really cool addition to the ride. It's done with projection mapping and some. I think there's also some steam and fog effects in there. It's a great way to add to the ride without detracting from the original. Because sometimes when they plus these things, it's a little distracting. Of course, it's primarily a roller coaster, but it's a family roller coaster. Big Thunder Mountain was the first roller coaster that I ever remember riding here, and then Splash Mountain is, of course, there's a family member of mine who her favorite ride is Splash Mountain. So she's a little worried about Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Actually, she has zero hope on Tiana's Bayou Adventure being good. She's offended that they're changing it in anyway. But now it sounds like Big Thunder Mountain is going to be down for more than a year. So when they say they're adding capacity to these parks, I'm a little trepidatious about this. I'm hoping that I don't think there's any cultural insensitivity reasons that this one might get changed. I don't think there are any poachers or Indian raiders or things like that are in this ride. So, do you think it's going to be close to the same when it comes back, Vash?
I think it will be close to the same. I don't anticipate major changes to the rock work or the overall theme for it. Now, obviously, this was part of the what is it? They called it. Oh, I want to get the exact
Mad
the
Max
scene
Beyond
ones.
Big Thunderdome.
No. I don't know what you're referring to, but this was part of the Scene 1 initiative from Imagineering. Well, the idea was that you have interactive concepts in the queues themselves, and that sets up the first scene of the show. That is the attraction itself. So we saw this in like Peter Pan, for example, in Magic Kingdom, Haunted Mansion. We saw a little bit of this in Space Mountain, and likewise too with Big Thunder. I think those elements should stay. We'll have to see what they do there, because obviously enthusiasm for that program has kind of diminished since originally initiated, what I want to say like 10 years ago or something. I think the other thing that might change is the kind of there's like a city that's kind of in or a town, I should say, that has been kind of underwater a little bit. I can see some improvements done there. I can see some repainting going on, because there's portions of this that look a little rough, especially like the gulch section and so forth. I can see a lot of that being rehabilitated, because it doesn't look all that great. The lighting as well needs to be improved. I say all this because I'm very used to Disneyland's the Big Thunder attraction. When I rode this myself, I was like, ooh, this is in rough shape. Like the waterfall on that first lift hill hasn't been restored ever since COVID. And it's like, well, that's kind of weird. So this attraction is in kind of rough shape, and it really needs to be done.
Are you implying that the Disneyland version is better than the Walt Disney World version, Vash? Is that what you're saying here?
I would most affirmatively say that.
How
yes.
dare you? How dare you? All right. So that being said, it was a good run. I'll talk to you later, Vash. Let's center this up here. Well, continuing on that park place, Big Thunder Mountain, the greatest ride at Walt Disney World Resort and Disneyland Resort. I cannot believe what was said on this channel here. This is highly unaccountable, and we're going to have to put Vash on a little bit of a suspension here. Well, maybe I'll add him back in. All right, Vash, are you ready to apologize for what you have just said?
Listen, this is only this way because the Walt Disney Company has deferred a lot of maintenance that could be done on this attraction to really bring up the stuff.
Sure.
Because look, the earthquake scene, let's be honest here, there's been some like tarps spread over some stuff. There's been rocks completely removed at some point.
All right. Thank you very much, Vash. With that being said, we want to throw this to our commenters. What do you think about Big Thunder Mountain going down for an entire year? Do you think that this is ultimately a good thing, because they're going to be doing maintenance that they need to do on this beloved attraction, this beloved Walt Disney World attraction? Do you have anything else you want to ask here, Vash, before we end this video and perhaps this relationship?
Very quickly. Okay, 12 months of rehab. I'm not surprised with that at all. Obviously, the retrack at Disneyland took around like 15 months or so that doesn't surprise me. With the time that it takes to actually retrack a ride like this, they can do a lot of improvements to actually, restore old effects, create new ones, provide new entertainment. And I think that dynamite scene in that final lift hill will be added as part of this thing. And look, if they do all that, Jonas, this will in fact be the greatest version of this attraction that there is to see outside of Paris's, by the way. But that's a whole nother story.
Disneyland Paris, that's a whole nother ball game. I'm hearing that Paris even has the best version of the Haunted Mansion, not counting, of course, Mystic Manor, which is not the Haunted Mansion, but it is kind of the Haunted Mansion. Oh my. All right, as long as they don't put like some ridiculous gem mining mini game in the middle of the queue like they did at Snow White's Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. All right, so let's throw this to our commenters. What do you think about this situation? Do you think Vash will ever get his head on straight about which version is the best in the United States? And like this video if you like this video, and consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.